Hey, good morning and welcome to Life Online. So let's dig back into this passage. It is Mark chapter 7. And here is this woman who has a daughter who has been demonized. Here's how Mark records it. Jesus left that place. He went to the vicinity of Tyre, and he entered a house and did not want anyone to know it. In other words, the demands of ministry have been really, really heavy. He's exhausted. Disciples have tried to get him away from the crowds. But Mark records, yet he could not keep his presence secret. In fact, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an evil spirit came and she fell at his feet. And the woman was a Greek. She was born in Syrian Phoenicia, and she begged Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. This was Jesus' response. It really it's shocking words. Jesus said this, "First let the children eat all they want," he told her, "for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs." Now, if you would have been in the room, I don't know if you would have gasped, but I have a feeling there were some individual that opened their eyes and go, I wonder how she is going to respond to this. But on the surface, it seems to be just a really calloused insult, but we know the nature of Jesus. By the way, we are a canine-loving society, but in the New Testament times, dogs were scavengers. They're wild, they're dirty, they would be unclean. And their society was not canine-loving, so to call someone a dog was a terrible insult. In Jesus' day, the Jews often called the Gentiles dogs because they were unclean. So is that what Jesus is doing here? He's tired, so he just tells the lady, "Listen, lady," and just insults her. I love how Tim Keller frames this in. He says, no, this one really is a parable. It's a parable that's all in a simple word phrase and a word picture here. It's a metaphor or a likeness. And so Keller goes on and says, one key to understanding it is the very unusual word Jesus uses for dogs. He uses a diminutive form, a word that really means puppies. Remember, the woman is a mother, and Jesus is saying to her, you know how families eat. First the children eat at the table, and afterward their pets eat too. It is not right to violate that order. The puppies must not eat food from the table before the children do. Now, if you go to Matthew's account of this incident, Matthew gives a slightly longer version of Jesus' answer. And there Jesus explains his meaning. He says, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. In other words, that's the boundaries that the Father has given me. And so I've come to the lost sheep of Israel. What he's saying to this Syrian Phoenician woman is, please understand there's an order here. I've been sent to Israel first, and then the Gentiles, yeah, they'll be reached later. However, this mother comes back with an astonishing reply. Not only is she bold, just to enter this home, no invitation, and she comes and approaches the good teacher, and she knows that she's violating Jewish ceremonial law, and that he would be unclean just by her approach and coming down, especially if she touches him and grabs him. She has no business being with Jesus. But she replies to Jesus' words and she says, yes, Lord, but even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And then he told her, for such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter. And she went home and she found her child lying on the bed and the demon was gone. In other words, she says, yes, Lord, but the puppies eat from that table too, and I'm here for mine. Would you give me the scraps, the crumbs that I know are available to me? My daughter needs to be well. The evil spirit needs to go. So Jesus has told her, given her a metaphor that's given her a combination of a challenge but also an offer, and she really gets it. So she responds to this challenge, okay, I understand. I am not from Israel. I do not worship the God that the Israelites worship. Therefore, I don't have a place at the table, and I accept that. But she doesn't take offense, and she doesn't stand on her rights. She says, all right, I may not have a place at the table, but there's more than enough on that table for everyone in the world, and I just need my portion now. So she's wrestling with Jesus in the most respectful way, and she's not going to take no for an answer. So I love what this woman is doing. By the way, here in the U.S. and Western culture, we don't have anything like this kind of assertive, spiritual assertiveness that this woman has. We often come, but when we're assertive, we assert our own rights. We do not know how to contend unless we're standing up for what I want, standing on our dignity, our goodness, and saying, this is what I'm owed. But this woman is not doing that at all. In fact, she's coming very humbly, not approaching for herself, but for her daughter. This is a rightless assertiveness. In other words, I'm not coming to demand my rights, but I'm coming to you. She's not saying, Lord, give me what I deserve based on my goodness. Here's what she's saying. Give me what I don't deserve on the basis of your goodness. And I need it, and I need it now. Hey, I think God welcomes us to approach him like this, where we acknowledge there's an abundance that you have, God, and there are needs that are around me, and so I am coming to you. And all I need are the crumbs from your table. And by the way, this is how Mark concludes the account in chapter 7, verse 30. And she went home and found her child lying on the bed, and the demon was gone. There's a God that has more than enough for you, for me, for all of us. We just need to approach him with a real burst of boldness. Have the good sense to approach the abundance of God like that today. Hey, I want you to have an awesome, awesome day. God bless.